Heart failure can happen, especially as people get older. It can lead to serious problems. Joining me to talk about it is Dr. John Higgins, cardiologist for UT Health Houston. So tell me, what exactly is heart failure?
Haley, heart failure is a common problem. About 7 million Americans suffer with it, and it essentially is where the heart is become inefficient and it's a pump, so it can't pump the blood out to the organs as well as it can. And the common things that cause it, Haley, are heart attacks, high blood pressure, which is uncontrolled, as well as a valve problem of the heart or a cardiomyopathy, which is a muscle problem of the heart.
Yeah, and so many people have high blood pressure and don't know about it. So they, left untreated, they're on a path to something like this. So what would the signs and symptoms be that people need to be on the lookout for?
Well, so if the heart is not pumping that nice oxygenated blood out to the organs, oftentimes, the organs will get, you'll feel fatigued because, your muscles and that are not getting enough oxygen. Also, it's like, traffic being backed up on the highway. If the pump is not working, it gets backed up. So the fluid can build up in the lungs, so they can end up getting fluid on the lungs, and they have problems with breathing at rest even, or even waking up coughing at night, as well as fluid building up in other parts of the body like the legs. They often will say they're nauseous and they're just really, really weak and out of energy, and they just can't do the things they used to do.
Interesting. Yeah, I hear the shortness of breath symptom is often like somebody thinks they maybe have asthma, or they go down a path of chasing something else when it's really your heart.
Yeah, that's a really important thing, especially in those people with the uncontrolled high blood pressure. We see that a lot, Haley, and it's important, if you do have get out of breath either with exertion or at night, or you get woken up, or you just have a really bad cough that's not going away, check out your doctor, because it might be early signs of heart failure.
Interesting, persistent cough. Yeah, so what can people do to lessen their risk?
Well, the first thing is prevention, Haley. So we don't want to have that heart attack. We want to get the blood pressure controlled. We want to stop smoking. We don't want to excessively drink. We want to get plenty of sleep and eat healthy. Those are the prevention. Now, once it's actually happened, of course, sometimes we have to use medicines. We have medicines that will help the heart to relax and become more efficient. We have a whole lot of medicines for that. We've got medicines to control the cholesterol so you don't have the heart attack. And we've got, for advanced cases, we've got advanced therapies. It might be a pacemaker, an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, and or even, down the line of LVADs, basically an artificial heart and or a transplant in really, really bad cases.
Yeah, so, we're talking about basically ways to live with this, but can it ever be reversed? Can you ever go back to the way you were?
Yes, Haley, the answer is yes.
Okay.
If you've got someone, for example, whose muscle gets weak because of poorly controlled blood pressure, especially if they're younger, and we get it really, really under good control, bam, their heart can get stronger again. Someone who's drinking too much alcohol and they cut back, the heart over about 9 months can get strong again. Someone with bad coronary artery disease, in all three vessels of the heart, where the heart has gotten weaker over time, when we bypass them or stent them and fix them, the muscle can get more blood flow and can get stronger again. So there's definitely things you can do. Some cases where it's a problem of the muscle, it might be genetic or hereditary. Unfortunately, we just have to treat it, because in those cases we can't reverse it. So again, prevention is the key.
What about, so does that mean that somebody with high blood pressure should maybe see a cardiologist early? Like when do you come into the picture?
So I would say, have your regular checkups at your primary care. If the primary care doc, especially if they're having problems controlling that blood pressure, and for most people these days, we're talking about less than or equal to 130 over 80 should be your target, then, or they need multiple medications, or it's really, really hard to get that blood pressure under control, that's when I think they should pull the trigger and have them come see us. And of course, we'll probably do some tests. We may do an ultrasound, an echocardiogram to check out the heart, see what's going on. We might do a stress test, get them on the treadmill and see, how is their heart performing under stress? Because oftentimes these people with early heart failure, they can walk and talk and do the basic things, but when they're walking upstairs or they're rushing, that can be when their symptoms come on.
Interesting. And you'd only know that if you go in for a stress test. Awesome information. Dr. John Higgins, thank you so much for coming in and joining us to talk about that important information. New stats show that really in just a few years, almost half of Americans are going to have high blood pressure. So it's a freight train that we're trying to stop.
And we want to get our steps each day too, Haley. Let's get our 10,000 steps to prevent heart failure.
Good advice. Thank you, Dr. Higgins.